Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live session of from the Projector, which means that yes, we are still not open yet. The good news was Intermission Bar has been open, so we are open Wednesdays to Sundays at the bar, and we are still doing deliveries. But for the cinemas, we are still waiting for news on when we can reopen. So we will be continuing with our virtual sessions. We are, fingers crossed, hoping to launch a video on demand platform itself sometime in July. So yeah, I mean, look out for that. It's going to be a bit different from the Vimeo platform that we've been using so far. Hopefully that will give you a better user experience and also more films that we can bring to you. So stay tuned for more news on that. But today we are pretty much talking about a showcase of films from Temasek Polytechnic. So these are student films that were part of their final year project, which actually won some awards in the New York TV and Film Awards, both in 2019 and 2020. So I hope you guys managed to catch the films. They will still be available until midnight tonight. So if you have just caught this live session and you're intrigued about the films, do go and check out the projector.sg. Check the films tab and just watch. The films are free. So yeah, just go ahead and watch. They're really good quality and interesting films, ranging from very diverse topics. So hope you really get a chance to watch them. They will only be available until midnight tonight. So if you want to share with your friends too, let them know. Okay, so I think for tonight, yeah, we have the directors and producers from the 4 films. Just to recap, they were Nina BOBOI, a film about in Kristang, and we have a film about loan sharks called The Debt, something about Evie, which is artificial intelligence short film. And finally, It's Just the Sky Farting, which is about a vet and a dog that he needs to put down. So those are the 4 short films that we'll be talking about today. So yeah, without maybe I'll just share a bit of the final year project. Yeah, so I mean, what students, it happens for their final year is they go in groups of about 8 to 9, and they pitch some ideas to their lecturers, and the lecturers actually do, they have a panel, and then they approve these films, which then go through a selection process with sponsors like Toggle or I think it was Singapore Discovery Center too. So and you know, these entities then sponsor up to $10,000 for them to create these films. So they do work in very small crews, maximum 9 to 10 packs. So I mean, keep that in mind when you're watching these films too. All right, without further ado, I'll just bring Victoria Elizabeth Scully, who is the director of Nina BOBOI, which won a bronze medal in the New York Film Awards. All right.
Hi.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. All right.
Great,
yeah. So yeah, maybe just introduce yourself and just share a bit about your film.
Right. So I'm Victoria. I'm the director and scriptwriter for Nina BOBOI, which is a story about. I actually came from my grandma's mother, who had kept all the letters that was given to her by my grandpa, who was a soldier in World War II. So we still have the letters, and it's kind of passed down from my grandma to me. And when I read it, I thought like, this would be a good film. So I made it a film. Yeah. So that's what it's about. It's very close and personal to me. Yeah.
Right. So you already read the letters before even you know, thinking about the film? Like had you done it before, or was it part of the film and then you went to read the letters?
I mean, when I was younger, my grandma always had like a whole album full of photos and like documents from her father, because he was a prisoner of the war and all. So we even have like the little that says he went missing in action. We have the Japanese occupation camp like card that he had. We still have it all. So I already kind of knew about it when I was younger. I've kind of grown up knowing his story. And the whole letters, I think I've read it once or twice when I was younger, but not really like in depth because like
Right.
you know it's very you know, it's all small talk in the letters. They were quoting so it's nothing super juicy.
Right.
So
Maybe
yeah,
maybe that's the only ones you are allowed to read.
maybe maybe
Yeah.
who knows. But yeah, so I already knew the story. It's just that when I went into writing it, I had to go back and look at the details about like timeline or specific things that he may have done, or you know, that kind of things that may have added something special to the script. Yeah.
Right.
But
So was it, I mean, is it true to what actually happened, or did you fictionalize some elements for the sake of
uh,
a short film?
yeah, I had to fictionalize a lot of it. Not a lot
Right.
of it, just like I guess the timeline, because things took years
Mhm.
in the making compared to you know in the film. There were a lot of more complicated stuff that was happening in the family and like uh in the whole politics of what was happening, you know, with the war
Right.
and everything. So I had to simplify it in a way,
Mhm.
also add more drama here and there.
Right.
So I think the essence of it is stays true. I think
Okay.
the message of sacrifice and like I think what my great grandpa did for my grandma, I think that stays true to it. But
Mhm.
I get some actions or some words that they might say is it's fictionalized by me how I pictured that
Right.
would have happened. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so talking about words, I mean, what stuck out to me was also this, to me, it was an introduction to kristang in a way. So part of the dialogue is peppered with kristang, which is you know, Eurasian language. So do you want to share a bit more of that and your experience with working with this language?
Right. Yeah. I think it was really special to me because I've never seen a film in Kristang, and Kristang is my mother tongue, and it's not
Hmm.
a very known language in Singapore, especially. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was special to me because there's no actresses that could speak Kristang as well.
Hmm.
That's one thing. Second thing is that there's
Right.
no clear uh right or wrong in Kristang because it's a very like informal language. So most of it had to go through my grandma for you know
Hmm.
quality checks. And then after that, our lead actress Krissy Jesudason, she actually had to
Hmm.
spend a whole day with my grandma to learn
Right.
pronunciation or like certain ways that you know Kristangs would pronounce things.
Hmm.
So that was hard work for her, and she took it very seriously because she knew how much it meant to me, you know, to play
Right.
my great grandma. Yeah.
Right.
So it was very
So,
special,
so
and like
for your lead actress, she wasn't familiar with the language at all. It was a new
no,
process, or
yeah,
right,
it was totally new because she's not Kristang. She's actually a mix of Filipino and I can't remember, but it's another
right,
European. Her father's European, if I'm not
sure,
mistaken. So
okay,
she knew of Eurasians, but she didn't know Kristang the language. Yeah, but
yeah,
she took to it
okay,
really fast. She took to it really fast. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. And what was your grandmother's response after watching the film? Like,
Uh, I mean, she knew that I was making the film. She knew everything that was going on. I mean, she saw the tears and the pain and everything of me
right.
making it. But the
How
first
how
time
long
she
was
saw
the
it,
process actually?
our entire our entire last year of Polytechnic, I
Right,
think
okay,
yeah, most of the year. Um,
including the pitch and everything, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
including pitch and
yeah,
like you know, making of the idea and everything.
right,
Uh,
sure,
so she was there for it. I mean, she was even in a bit of the film, so she knew roughly what was happening.
yeah,
But the first time she saw it was during our the design showcase that we have at the end of our graduation, and
yeah,
that was the first time she saw it on the screen in like one of the little rooms that we had going on to showcase our
mm,
films. And
yeah,
I remember watching her instead of the film because like I've seen the film enough.
yeah,
I personally don't watch my own films.
right,
So
yeah,
I was watching her, and I
yeah,
remember she like started to cry at the end, and I was like, oh, okay,
right.
yes, you know, mission got accomplished. Like, thank God she
Yeah.
cried, and thank God she felt something for it, because like that
Wait,
was really what I needed for. Yeah.
that was your mission to make her cry?
A little bit. I
Right.
think it's mostly just to like immortalize some part of my family in a certain way. Yeah.
History,
Just
yeah. No, I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
to be frank, like it was very sensitively done. And yeah, I mean, someone here also said like a beautiful story, outstanding characters, and Petrina Edema, who might be related to you, maybe.
It's my mom, I think.
Right. Okay. She cried at the end, so yeah. No, I mean, I could see that happening. Yeah. Great. I mean, are you bringing this film elsewhere to showcase to anyone else, or what's happening with the film now?
I mean, it was shared a lot with the kristang community, and
Mhm.
thankfully everyone's very excited about it because it's a film that showcased the kristang culture and language and
Right.
everything. So that was made its rounds. I'll see
Mhm.
if any competitions come up that may take it. I would definitely send it
Right.
again. But for right now, I'm gonna let it breathe and
Yeah.
just let it rest where it is because
Sure.
it's done and it's there for me to admire now for the rest of my life.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying that there was a Kristang community, like, I mean, is it a
Mhm.
close-knit community for those of us who are not familiar with it? Like, I mean, do you have language classes
Yes.
that you
So
go for?
yeah. So the kristang community in general is quite close knit because we have very little Eurasians in Singapore, so we
Right.
know each other. But recently we actually had like a series of classes come up to revitalize the language, and
Mhm.
we got to know more people from there, and we got really, I think, closer because of that. So
Right.
when one person knew about my film from there, it kind of spread really fast. And we
Mhm.
actually had a lot of like collaborators within the kristang community to help out. Like a few of the extras were my friends that were kristang.
Mhm.
My mom was actually in the movie, so she was she was in it. She was
Your whole
Rosie.
family was in the movie, right?
Yeah, my brother was in it. But also like the wonderful artist Andre who made the poster for Nina BOBOI. He's also kristang, and he read the part of the script also when I was going through with him some kristang phrases, and he was so excited about it. So it was a lot
Right.
of excitement and support from the community. Yeah.
Community.
Yeah.
So what about outside the community? Maybe I'll just bring up a question from Ron
Right.
over here.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's little exposure to kristang in Singapore. I mean, I've heard about it also, but I haven't
Mhm.
seen much. So what do you think that Eurasians can do to make kristang more accessible? Or, I mean, even if you do want to, and then, like, or whether you want to keep it just to yourself as a secret language, which is totally fine
Right.
too. And what do you think the local non-Eurasians can do to understand kristang better?
Well, I think the most easiest thing that we could do is just, I guess, create something that's true to ourselves as kristang creators. Because I don't think we necessarily have to make something for the language to be known. I think if we make something with the essence of us in it, then naturally people will get to know us and our culture.
Right.
Like it's same thing with like K-pop and like all those
Yeah.
like animes. People will naturally become interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Sure.
think it's just creating more of what is true to us, and eventually the spread of who we are will people will get to know. And
Right.
I think also with the like I mentioned, the classes, I think
Mm.
a lot of the students that are going for these classes aren't even like Eurasian. They're a mix of cultures from
Right.
foreigners to Singaporeans. I think if people are really interested and they want to read up about it, or they want to join one class just for fun, then it's
Right.
great. If you want, you can message me and I will teach you all the swear words that you want to know in kristang. But
It always
like, yeah,
starts there, right?
it always starts there. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
I mean, I guess,
curiosity.
yeah.
Yeah.
And cuisine may be one way to enter because, Eurasian
Yeah.
food
Yeah.
is something hugely popular. So usually use your
Right. Right.
food and
Right.
then, get the
Yeah.
language going.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. All right. Cool. I think that's it. I'll bring the rest now, and then we'll chat with you again at the end together with the rest
Great.
of the students. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Next up, we'll bring Matthias and Rochelle from the short film Debt.
Hello.
And hi, Rochelle.
Hi.
Hello.
And that's Matt. All right. Maybe starting with Rochelle and then on to Matt. Do you guys want to just introduce yourself and share a bit more of your film Debt?
Oh, hi. I'm Rochelle. I was the producer and kind of the person who came up with the whole idea of that. Then, yeah, Matt is the director.
And do you want to just give a brief synopsis of what that is for those who haven't watched it? Because you're trying to get them to watch it after this talk.
Yeah, Matt, you can do it.
Okay, so hi.
Yeah.
I am Matthias. I'm the director for Deb, and Deb is about a story about daughter and mom trying to work their way through the Along world and like get rid of their debt. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's quite
for those who
dramatic,
don't know,
quite touching. Yeah.
for those who don't know what alongs are, they are actually loan sharks. Yeah, so essentially the story is about loan sharks and the daughter who becomes a loan shark runner to try and repay some debts. But interestingly, I mean, for me, there was this added layer of the relationship with the mother. How did that come about? And I mean, this is probably not an easy story. I mean, was it something that from personal experience that you guys came up with in terms of conceptualizing the story?
I think it started from when Andrew asked us to pitch, our lecturer Andrew asked us to pitch something like relatable to us. So I came up with the idea like of the team loan shark because it's something that people around me experienced before, and I feel that it's not really discussed in like the society. So I just came up with the idea, and like the mother and daughter part came after, because we wanted to add this, because we don't want to talk about just financially the debt. We want to talk about the debt between the mother and daughter relationship. We want to talk about relationships, so that's why we put in this mother and daughter concept in.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, you had a very respected actress who was acting as the mother, Hong Hui Fang. I mean, how did that come about? Like, I mean, how was the casting process and working with her?
Honestly, the casting process was one of the hardest process we had, because we actually conducted a lot of we put out a lot of casting call, and we went to different websites to look for different actors, and I think we I think we casted about at least 12 to 15 actors, but we still don't think they are the right one, because the mother is a very important character in the story. So then thankfully we were kind of sponsored by Toggle. So one of our mentor was someone from the Mediacorp side. So we actually we didn't expect to get Hong Hui Fang at all. So we were just suggesting that maybe we can try Hong Hui Fang, and Hui Fang, we call her Hui Fang Jie, out of respect, and she was really very nice to us, and she actually gave us a lot of guidance on set. Like we didn't expect her to say yes at all, but she actually came down for a table read, and she was really interested in the script. So we were very thankful that she came down. It's really different. Like I couldn't see her as anyone else as the mother.
Right.
It was a very enjoyable experience.
And Matt, as a student, like directing such a established actress, like was there an interesting power dynamic? Or, I mean, were you able to get what you want, or you deferred to her to do it?
It's very scary for me, because as a Chinese boy, I should know how to speak Mandarin, right? But I don't. Yeah, my Chinese language is very basic, so I had to
bilingualism failed in Singapore. Don't worry.
Yeah, so
we are all in the same boat. Me and Tamil.
So like Hong Hui Fang is also from she came from she PR into Singapore, so like her main language is Mandarin. But my main language is English or Singlish. So when I talk to her, I have to have broken English and Chinese combined together, and then like explain to her. Then she understands completely. I think she has her own idea of how the mother character is already. So like all I have to do is just like deliberate even more, like tell her like, maybe try to like enunciate some of the words, or like like act a bit more angry here, and then she can do it just fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you managed to overcome that challenge. I mean, like in the further stages, like it was more comfortable, or were you still intimidated?
At the first stages, she became more comfortable with me. Like she able to laugh and like don't get so serious in the shoot. So sometimes I'll like look at her and I give her a very awkward smile. Then she like, haha, okay. Then she'll just cry. Yeah. Then sometimes I give like weird requests, like maybe don't be angry here, maybe be a bit less threatening. Then she like, oh, okay. Then I should try. Then like, yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, shooting this must have been quite challenging, because there were a lot of outdoor scenes late at night, spray painting things and all that. I mean, how do you guys do this? Because they were all in public spaces.
So the very first challenge we got is because we actually researched like different tactics that the loan shark used to disturb and harass the victims. So we narrowed down to like a few, and specifically on the spray painting. So the very first challenge we face is where to get all the paints, because we need a lot of paint to to experiment, and then we need a lot to do our rough shoot, and we need a lot of paint for different scenes. So we faced this challenge, right? And we were another producer, Sochin, my another producer, Sochin, she actually went to find like paint sponsor. And we also again very, very, very shocked that people actually sponsor us paint to do a loan shark film. So we were very thankful for that. Like we got the sponsor. That's why we can experiment trying different kind of color to make it like how to make it look good on the camera. So that was the very first one. Then we also had to face different difficulties like shooting at night in the HDB while spraying paint and making a lot of noise. So I think all this I mean, it wasn't easy, but after explaining to the neighbors and everything, it got slightly better.
Right. So you were going late, like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. kind of shoots?
Actually, the neighbors were really very enduring, I think, for the first half of the shoot, because we explained to them that we are going to disturb them. I mean, not disturb them. We will be a bit louder for a period of time, and they were fine. Until I think the last 2 days, because one of the scene we have to use the metal to hit the
to rattle the gates.
Yeah, to rattle the gate. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the time that we really triggered them. But then after that, they are okay. I think they saw Hui Fang Jiu, so they were like, oh, okay. So they see someone familiar, they know on set. I think they feel a bit better.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But how do you get these houses and stuff? Like, were they? I mean, you just ask HDB for random houses, or?
We had the option. But in the end, we went to find one of our friends' house. One of our friends, I think family has like we rented the house from them for a period of time. Yeah, so we tried different houses also, because we wanted to look for a more Singaporean, as in like very local. Like we have a very specific like window and door that we are looking for. So thankfully, we found his house, which is at Circuit Road, and fits the whole atmosphere.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but we actually done all the rough shoot at my relative's house and Matt's house. Which up to today, there's still stained paint everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you were mentioning that there was pain of removing and the difficulty of removing it after the shoot. So till now, you still have residue.
Oh yes. Because we use my aunt's house and my house for like for the daughter and mom, the mom and daughter to harass the other debtors. So we use my house and my aunt's house. So we start splashing paint everywhere. We just like I told them like fuck it, just I just say just do it, like the back end, that one we can settle next time. Then we just splash, we just rattle. Then after that we have like the residues everywhere. Then my neighbors got very concerned about it, like if we have any financial issues and do we need help. So I told them like, okay. I'm just a film student that is very sad right now. They're like, okay, let's continue on. Yeah.
Did you not warn them beforehand that you?
No. For my house, right? My neighbors are quite understanding. They see me sometimes and they like smile, happy. So I thought like, okay, never mind. Just
it's because we were students. I think we were still learning. We didn't know that we should actually go and say hi to them. We all learned from that experience, really.
Yeah.
Like,
to get some goodwill. Maybe
Yeah.
bring them some, chocolates or something first beforehand, and
we always smile at them.
But now because of the situation, like me and my neighbors got closer. Sometimes I would go out and they, hey, hi, how's your house now? They're like, oh, okay, quite good.
Right.
Yeah.
Andrew wants to talk about the slap scene.
Matt.
All right, what do you guys have to talk about the slap scene?
So in the story, we had to have a very high point where something must happen between the daughter and mom to cause a big tension between the both of them, but we couldn't know what to do. And then we kept debating whether we should like splash paint at her or we should slap her or do something drastic. Then we finally like come down to it as a slap scene where we like we asked the Regina to slap Hong Hui Fang.
Yeah.
But we didn't know how to go around it. So Hong Hui Fang like taught us like in MediaCorp when they pretend to slap each other, it's like there'll be a fluid motion combined together. So like as you slap the person, the face will turn.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did like a few takes. The first few takes it was like okay, but I didn't feel like it was there yet. So I like tell them, can you do one more take? And this take our actress, our Regina was like too nervous to like pretend anymore. So she extended a bit too long and she slapped her like for real. So
right.
Then we like, oh no. But then like that's good. Yeah, so we thought it was a good thing after that.
Great.
How did Hui Fang respond to it then?
I think at the start she was like shocked that like, oh shit, like why you can't slap me? But then she she very professional, so she like just take it and just like continue on with the scene. Yeah.
Right.
So we like very shocked by it. Then we like it was a good day lah. to see yeah.
That's a real professional actress then.
Yeah.
I've got a question from Ron. Sorry, not this one. One more. It's what was your favorite scene of the whole short film and why?
For me, my favorite scene is one of the resolution scene, the one in the toilet. So the one she I can't remember what happened exactly, but I think they were the crying scene. Yeah. The one Regina.
Regina, yeah.
Yeah, Regina was the actress. So the one Chloe and the mom actually come together, like I think for the first time after the slap. Then it was very emotional because I think that's the most memorable scene for me because we actually did a few times. Like we did one time in this house, and then after we edit, right, the first edit came out, the emotion weren't there. It wasn't that good. Like it feels like the film didn't end off well because that scene was very important. So I mean, from student point of view, we didn't want to do another one, and as a producer point of view, I didn't want to spend money to do another one. So I was actually very against the idea to reshoot that scene, but then I was very, very glad that we actually reshot that scene because it turned out to be very, very good. Like it's one of the scenes that I'll never forget. And I think thanks to Hui Fang Jie, she actually like give us a lot of guidance on how should we do this scene. Then that was a scene that I will never forget.
So it's quite a collaborative process.
Yeah, and I think our lecturer was there. A few of our lecturers were there to help us, and the whole mood is very different. In the house, it feels that everyone was very quiet, and we were just building up for that scene. It was very emotional. Okay. So when I cried, like when I watched the first time, I kind of teared lah. I don't think anyone see, but I think I kind of teared lah. The very first time I watched. Yeah, because we watched a few times lah. So.
And Matt, yourself?
Me, I like the toilet scene also. The one where because the scene was after spoiler alert, I shouldn't say. Okay, so the scene was like after everything that happened, the daughter finally wants to forgive and let go and like want to also apologize for her actions. Yeah. So what the daughter throughout the whole scene, the daughter has this like quiet expression. So the whole scene was like has no dialogue in it, but you can see the emotions that's running through both of the characters at the same time. So it was quite it's quite good. It was quite touching. I didn't thought I can have this type of film with me. Yeah.
Right.
Then the technical aspect of it is also quite cool because we didn't have enough space to do a dolly track for it. So we had to use blanket. We had to try a lot of different methods. So we tried using a trolley to pull. And we like a bit shaky. Yeah. So we tried let's try the tower. We sit on the tower. Like we asked our DOP to sit on the tower. Then we pull her back. Yeah. So that was the best shot that we did. Yeah.
Sometimes these challenges, create the best innovations in a way. Yeah. Well, congrats on your silver award at the New York festivals. I'm just gonna go on to the next film and then I'll bring you guys back at the end. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Rochelle. Thanks, Matt. And next we'll bring up Alvin from Something About Evie. Hello, Alvin. Thanks for waiting.
Oh, no worries.
Everything, everything all right with your tech? I saw you leaving and coming back in.
Oh, yeah. My camera failed that way.
Right. Okay. Yeah, maybe just introduce yourself to our audience and share a bit more of the story of Something About Evie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm Alvin. I did the sound design for Something About Evie. I was also part of the team from the very beginning, so I can answer a lot of creative script questions as well. And Something About Evie is about this man who loses his wife and replaces her with a humanoid, a highly sensitive humanoid. And what happens afterwards is the film.
Loses his wife as in she passed away.
Yeah.
just to clarify for those people who haven't seen the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how did this storyline come about?
I think at the beginning we wanted to do something different. So when we started the script, it started with the genre. So we wanted to do sci-fi because it's an indie film that is sci-fi is quite rare, I think, because of usually budget issues. And because of that, we wanted to do sci-fi, and we wanted to do it based on this British TV show called Humans. It's 2015 British TV show called Humans. Andrew, my lecturer, Andrew introduced it to us. So we kind of took that concept of having highly sensitive androids, humanoids, working as domestic helpers in our home, and we kind of infused it with Singaporean sensibilities.
Right. Okay. And I mean, it was a pretty heavy topic, including death and relationships and all that. And being students, like how do you guys end up research? Like, did you have to interview someone, or I mean, how do you do your research for this?
It's actually we didn't do much research for it, honestly. It's just we just came up with a pretty good script. And actually, initially, it was quite different. The main character actually builds the robot, so his grief for his wife is so great that he goes to such an extent to build a humanoid that resembles her. But then we kind of changed it to the point where he buys her, and we actually shot an advertisement. But it's not in the actual film, but we did shoot an advertisement for the robot as well. So he actually sees it on TV and then buys it. So we changed it because of, again, budget issues, location issues, and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, it was a sci-fi movie, but with very little special effects, I would say. Did you guys consider doing any, or you just decided to rely on the actors that y'all got?
We did. We wanted to do, like those hologram effects. When you see in a lot of films, like people go to the mirror and there's like a hologram there, and stuff like that. And then we, small, because in the initial script he was he could build robots. So we planned to have a lot of robots around the house and stuff like that. But then we eventually scrapped it because of budget issues, and we didn't think that we could pull it off. And honestly, like one of the gripes I have the film with is the fact that I think the art could be better. Honestly, the location as well. I think that apartment is like it's quite like every other apartment in Singapore.
Right, but I mean, I guess it was kind of realistic in that sense, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, how would you have changed it otherwise if you had a bigger budget, for example?
Actually, for the apartment, it wasn't the budget that was the issue. The issue was that nobody wanted to rent us an apartment where we are going to paint the walls.
Right.
So in the film we changed the color of the walls, and nobody wanted to take that risk with us. And I think that we did rent it from this lady. She's a relative of my art director, and I think she kind of regrets it because we had to repaint the walls like 3 times.
Oh, as in you damaged it, or it was part of the process of?
I wouldn't say damage, but we just had to keep applying coats because it was initially white when we started. We painted it yellow for the film, and then it changed to blue at the second act of the film, and then we had to paint it back to white, but we painted it back to white, and it was kind of half-assed. So we had to hire someone to come and fix our painting, and then I think we just for the paint itself, I think we spent around $1,000. So yeah.
Paint seems to be a common issue, at least removing paint and restoring. Yeah, sometimes you forget that you need to return your set back, in its original state, and it's sometimes a bit more challenging. But I mean, for yourself, like, what was your experience working with the actors who are also quite, I mean, like Xuan, for example, who's also quite an established actress?
Yeah, Xuan was the, I know because JP told me, keeps telling me always, like, she was always the one that he had in mind for this role. And we were afraid that, we wouldn't be able to afford her in a way. But after she, my director went and talked to her, and then after she heard the story, she was willing to do it. Yeah, so
JP is actually in the comments, so I think he's listening in, but he's in camp, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would say that Xuan took a huge risk for us to be in this film. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I'm always wonder this challenge of trying to, as students working with professional actors, and sometimes it's like you defer to them because and it may not end up the product that you want, because you're like, okay, you let them shape the decisions or have the final say. Was that the case, or in the end it ended up being more collaborative, or you guys got what you want?
Yeah, it was definitely more collaborative. Xuan and Luis, since the start, we were always on the same frequency. So in terms of performances, they were always spot on, I felt. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I just want to bring up this comment by Andrew, which is she nailed the voice. And I would say, like, her being an android was totally believable. Like, I had no questions about it. So yeah, that was great. Okay.
Yeah, and then she came up with the voice herself. There's no post-processing or anything. She came up with it herself. So there are advantages of like taking a risk and going and asking a professional actress to star in our budget film, but it's a risk that paid off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Cool. I'll talk to the directors of It's Just the Sky Fighting after this, and then we'll chat again. All right.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Alvin. All right. Next up, we have Hidayah and Farah from the film It's Just the Sky Fighting.
Hi.
Maybe just want to introduce yourselves and your roles for the film.
Hi, I'm Hidayah. I'm the director of It's Just the Sky Fighting.
Hi, I'm Farah. I'm the producer of It's Just the Sky Fighting. And we both recently graduated this year.
All right. Thanks, guys. And sorry, maybe we'll just start with the title. Like, how did that come about? I know it caused a bit of grief with between Sasha and myself because the mails got bounced because of this text. So yeah, maybe just share with us how you came up with this title.
Our assistant director Victoria was actually the one who suggested the title to us because she had a personal story related to the title where her dad would be telling her it's just the sky fighting whenever there's thunder. So because our dog Buddy is afraid of thunder, Victoria suggested to put this line into the film, and it ended up also being a title, and the line was actually repeated quite a few times in the final project.
Right. Okay.
I think it's one of like the iconic lines of the film. So It's Just the Sky Fighting really stood out to us, which is why we decided to put it as the title.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, maybe share with us a bit of a short synopsis of what this short film is about.
It's about a vet who was forced into practice by his parents, even though he didn't actually want to be a vet. And one day Marcus came in asking to put his dog down, but Andy refuses and instead developed a strong bond with Buddy.
Right. And okay, so I mean, just to share a bit, I recently, just 2 months ago, had to put my own dog down after a 2-year battle with cancer. So, like obviously when I was watching this film, it was just my, mind was just going elsewhere, but it was really quite emotional. And I knew the exact challenges of deciding when and, and whether to put a dog down. So it was really, to me, a very sensitive portrayal of, the ethical issues behind it. So thank you very much for doing this film. The thing that stood out to me, though, was immediately after that, when the credits roll, I saw your names coming up, and it was a bit of a surprise for me because here it's a dog story, and it was directed and produced by 2 Muslim persons. So, how did you consciously decide to do this? Can you share a bit more of that experience?
So when I pitched the story to my lecturer, I wanted to do something out of the box and something that TP has never done before. So I thought, what more of a better way than do it with an animal? And I decided on a dog story. At first, I did have some, not regrets, but I did have a bit of, should I do it or not? Because I'm a Muslim girl and dogs, we cannot touch dogs as it was haram. I was also scared about the religious matter behind this. But I thought that since my story was picked to continue with that final year project and I get to direct it, I didn't want to throw away the opportunity because it's really a once in a lifetime opportunity to be able to direct the dog story.
Right.
And it was even sponsored as well. So I decided to direct this film.
Okay. And Farah, did you have any concerns with doing a film about dogs?
I mean, yeah, when I first told my mom about this dog film, she was actually quite concerned.
Right.
But how we actually approached it was that we used gloves, like initially, during like the pre-pro part of the production when we had training sessions with the dog, Sniper.
Yeah.
So we actually bought like plastic gloves and all of that for Hidayah and all the Muslim girls in the group.
Right.
But after a while, like in production, we decided, you know what, it's okay, it's fine, because it was really like a hassle. So we sort of got used to having the dog around. And the reason why I decided to produce this film is because I feel it's very unique and like it's never been done before, especially because it's a student film. So that's why I decided to go on with this project.
Right. Okay. So does your mother know that you removed your gloves?
She doesn't know, but she's watching this right now. So
oh, no. You might have some tough conversations later. All right. I mean, I had this question, but since Lester brought it up too, like, having a dog on the set must be very tough. Were there occasions where the dog couldn't stay in character? And, how do you overcome that struggle, or whether you had to change the story along the way?
Yes, so many times where the dog's focus just totally went away. There's a lot of compromises, a lot of on the spot thinking, whether to change scenes, what to do, whether we should do a different scene first and whatnot. So it's a very tough thing, and Farah and Victoria, our assistant director, actually had to really work very well together to manage the time as well, because on set we really cannot waste any time, but the dog did actually waste quite a lot of our time because because whenever he goes out of focus, we have to let him rest, and then when he's tired, we have to let him rest. in between scenes, we have to let him rest. And then when there's the setup, we have to let him rest. So it's a very, very, very long process. Yeah.
How long was the actual filming process with the dog?
Oh, it took really long actually. So the film was actually supposed to be shot within 16 days, but because of the dog, we overran quite a bit because Sniper was always Sniper is a dog, by the way. He's actually really well trained and he's really well behaved. But on set itself, he will lose focus sometimes, and that caused us to overrun quite a bit. So eventually, we ended up shooting for about 30 days, which is actually quite long for a 25-minute film. Yeah, and the cut actually ended up to be an hour long. So we had to cut out like 30 minutes worth of footage, which is very like heartbreaking, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe you can release a longer version, a director's cut later. So but maybe in terms of a casting process, like did you have to test out a few dogs, or did you just settle on Sniper from the onset?
We worked with Sniper for our pitch video shoot actually. And initially we didn't want to cast Sniper for the final product. And we did a lot of auditions with different dogs, but we realized that Sniper is a very well-trained dog with a very good trainer. And we really love the trainer as well. She really works very well with us. And we thought that Sniper actually really fits the look of Buddy. Sick, big, skinny. And so we decided to just cast Sniper and go ahead with Sniper for the whole production.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Initially we wanted like a golden retriever, like a very cute dog, but actually we decided that Sniper is perfect because this Buddy character is suffering from cancer, and actually Sniper looks pretty skinny, so we thought that he really suited the look of the dog that we were going for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you have a healthy retriever or something, it wouldn't be quite believable. There's a question from Lutfi. How did you all execute the scene where Buddy ran away? Was it challenging?
Okay, so I'm assuming he's asking about the scene where Buddy is chasing after Andy. That scene took so many mock shoots, so many practices with Sniper and Jess. A lot of mock shoots, a lot of coming to the location itself, because we did our mock shoots on a different location and then we have to do our mock shoot on the actual location. It was a lot of time looking for the location as well, trying to look for a perfect road where there's not a lot of cars but also suits the place that kind of looks like the park that they were at. So we also called down a lot of people to help us. I even called down my dad for our DP to sit behind the car with the camera because the dog runs at a very fast speed, like close to 40 kilometers per hour, and none of us could catch up to him at all. So we decided on a motorbike, and even that finding people who has the license and can ride a bike was very hard as well. So
for your DOP, a motorbike too?
Yeah, our DOP was behind with the super heavy camera, one arm here and one arm like that.
Right, okay. So there definitely were some challenges. Did you have any regrets deciding to do a film with a dog after that?
No.
No?
It was a very good opportunity.
It's a once in a lifetime chance. So I think me and Hidayah enjoyed it a lot because having like animals on set was sort of like a distraction for us, because when we were on shoot, we really were very stressed and like had no time to breathe. So like having Sniper around was like really fun.
A bit of a therapy session too, I guess.
And we even had scenes at the vet where there was a lot of animals. And the vet scene was my favorite scene ever to shoot because mostly it's with humans and also because there's a lot of animals around us and it just felt very lively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hidaya's birds were on there also.
Okay, that was your own birds.
Yeah, those were my birds.
Right. Yeah, Ron has a question about whether the film changed your approach towards dogs in general, like in life. Like, did it change your perceptions about dogs, or?
For me, it did. I used to be like a cat person, but now I changed to a dog person. Like
It
whenever
doesn't
I
need to
feel
be
like
either or. It doesn't need to be either or.
yeah, no, I'm not like a dog person because whenever like I see like dogs in the street, I'll actually like pet them. Hi, mom. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, so it did change my perspective on dogs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Our very first audition with a dog, I ran away because the dog started chasing me.
Right.
And I broke my foot because of that.
Oh, really?
I remember that.
As
So
in,
long
Sniper
ago.
started chasing after you?
It wasn't Sniper, it was a different dog. So
Okay.
yeah, at the start of the production, I was very, very nervous to even be close to
Yeah.
the dog. Yeah, but
Yeah.
but now I'm used to it. Kelvin brought his huge golden retriever on set, and I wasn't even scared to come close to it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I love dogs now.
All right. That's good to hear. All right. Well, we just have about 10 minutes left, so maybe I'll just bring the rest up to chat. Just give me a moment. So that's Victoria, Matt, Rochelle. All right. Did I forget anybody? No, everybody's here, right?
Elvin.
Oh, Alvin. Oh, wait. So I need to remove somebody. All right. Sorry. Matt, I'll remove you shortly for a while. Sorry, I realized that, yeah, we can only do 6. So yeah, I mean, so congratulations, guys. It was actually quite a good showcase. Like I thoroughly enjoyed watching it, and I think our audience did too. Do you guys have anything to share before we close in terms of your experience doing these films, or any plugs that you want to do about your current work or projects that you're looking forward to? Hidayah? Yeah.
I would say that Temasek Poly Digital Film and Television definitely, like, I didn't regret at all coming to this course. They gave me a lot of opportunities, not only to direct my show, but I managed to learn more about art, more about the camera, more about sound, etc., etc. And it was a very, very great opportunity to be in this course. Really, I learned a lot. But yeah, I will not be staying in the film industry, as I want to search for other like works and other options that I can try and be in.
Okay. And Farah, yourself?
For me, I would still like to see like what the film industry has to offer. So right now, I kind of want to go into art, like the art department, because I never really had a chance to do art in school. I've always been the producer or the AD. So I'm looking to be on more shoots as maybe a art assist, and then slowly build myself up to an art director, hopefully one day.
Cool. Sounds good. Victoria?
I'm currently associate producer at Monochromatic Pictures. So I think I definitely, whatever I learned from Temasek Poly, and I'm applying it to life right now. So definitely I will continue in this industry. I think there's still a fire in me for this. There's a few concepts coming out from Monochromatic Pictures in the next coming year. So just look out for that. Some of that's from me. Yeah,
what kind of
only
projects
from me.
are they? What kind of projects are you working on?
We have a few dramas coming out. Yeah, a few short films, and then a very special, can't mention much about it right now, but a very special crime thing that may come out. So just keep an eye out. Yeah.
Fair enough. So look out for Monochromatic Pictures and Victoria's name. All right.
Yeah.
And Rochelle, what's up with you?
I'm actually still in the industry, as in after I graduated, which is 2 years ago. I've been freelancing, producer, AP, production, everything production. So I've done corporate and commercial and drama, all sorts of things. And I think maybe I will still continue the industry. I think.
Right.
I mean, it's still thinking lah. So that now I'm currently sorry.
But I mean, now, you know, with COVID, a lot of production also has stopped, you know, not just for you guys, but for even all the independent filmmakers and such.
Yeah.
What's your experience with that so far?
Okay, it was honestly a very bad time for, I think, the whole industry, and also especially the freelancer, because, I mean, we don't have stable income lah, basically.
Yeah.
Then after the COVID, after the circuit breaker was lifted, the protocol, if I think Victoria should know, like we all seen like the guideline from IMDA. It was like, all long pages, wordy pages, guidelines, but it's to ensure everyone's safety. So I understand, but it's just it was a lot. I mean, as producer, the production side, right, is a lot more steps to take. I think just to film something, like just to create content, literally. So but I mean, it's for the good of everyone lah. So we just hope for the best for now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to adapt to even a smaller crew and trying to work.
Yes, definitely. It's very. We are trying to. Yeah, I mean, lean crew lah, if possible.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Alvin, what's you're still in NS, or you just ORT?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have nothing to plug. I work for the government now, so I get paid regardless. I would just like
what
to
are you
say,
doing?
Oh, I work in Ammunition Command.
Okay.
So yeah, I still make videos for them, but I don't get really paid for them, so you know, I don't really care. But
no personal projects on the side.
No, not at the moment. I would just like to say, you know, I really liked it. I really love studying at Temasek Poly. And if the juniors are watching, I would just like to say that it's kind of tough shooting right now. I know I saw some of the juniors working, wearing masks and stuff like that. And that's no way to work. But good luck for the FYP, I think.
All the best.
Yep.
The time you won't forget lah.
Are they doing their productions now, the current final year students, or has it been halted?
No, they will continue with their pre-production. They will move into production around September, October.
Right. Okay. So fingers crossed, everything goes well from there.
Yep.
Yeah, man. All the best.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us, guys.
Maybe
just
thank you so much.
Just to close, I will just let everyone know that there's an early admissions exercise for the next intake, and that closes on 1st July. So please go to that link there, tp.edu.sg/EAE to sign up and start your digital and film TV course at Temasek Poly. Right? All right. Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.